As we go forward, a lot of this will be quite obvious, the information that I'm going to be giving you, but it's essentially sort of some things it's hard to tell what's obvious from our end, so we just like to lay it all out for you. And I think you'll find most of it to be intuitive as you come to grips with the software, but it's good to have things laid out for you every now and then. Moving on from the dashboard, we have the Sites tab. Here you can basically see the site as you've chosen to divide your charge points. Most sort of hosts will just have the one site, but some hosts will have many, and some sort of may choose to subdivide their charges in different ways for different reasons. There's several reasons that you might want to do that, as we'll go ahead and discuss. So as you can see here in our first site, we basically just have a general charge point summary breakdown, which is quite similar to the one on the dashboard. That's because currently this host account only has a one site, so these breakdowns are identical. Here it's showing you all the charge points in this site, and on the dashboard it's showing you all charge points. Those happen to be the same groups at the moment. You can also see the address for the site here and the cost, as well as a breakdown of the charge points' various information. As this is an example account, you can see most of these are zeros, so there's no usage on them, but yours will actually have real readings here. Most important will be energy consumed, and everything else will be sort of extrapolated from that based on your tariffs and the cost of energy as you have submitted to us in your site here. To sort of give you an idea of how to create a site, I'm going to go through that process with you now, so you have a good example of understanding how to do it. So we want to be in the Sites tab. We want to go Add New Site. We want to name it. You will probably call this the name of the town, but depending on the nature of your business or company, you may want to call it sort of anything you like. It could be sort of north location, south location, things like that. You can call it whatever you like. Going to make up an address here just for example purposes, so you can see it all laid out. So the two more important things here, this is essentially just your address, shows you where the charge points are. The two more important pieces of information here that will actually affect the usage for you will be energy cost, which essentially affects the revenue tab, which we'll look at later. Basically, if you want to use the revenue tab, you'll want to enter your energy cost here. Energy cost here means how much you are paying to your utility supplier for energy. It's not how much you're being paid for the power by the customer, it's how much you're paying yourself for it in the first place. So essentially your baseline number, that if you're looking to profit from your charges, you want to make sure you're earning more than the energy cost, plus some other things which we'll get into later. The other helpful thing here is the pick location feature. So depending on where you are, you can actually really zero down on where your pin's going to be. So if your charge points are going to be public, and you know exactly where they are, you can actually drag this pin and be very precise with where on our user site it's going to appear in order to basically really demonstrate where you are. This could be quite useful for people in business parks, very large car park areas, or sort of sometimes like university campuses. It could be quite helpful to basically just pinpoint where you are in a larger area. If we set an example here, just 0, which is what we usually do when we have no information, and press save, we now have a new site. Example industry is obviously not real, and our test site. So let's say you, for whatever reason, need to uproot a charger. You've got 0719, you haven't got a charger at your test site, you want to put it somewhere else. Sometimes people do actually do this. They will take the charger out of the ground and they'll put it in somewhere else. So if you do that, for the software side on EV Manager, extremely simple process, much simpler than pulling the thing out of the ground and reinstalling it. You basically need to create the new site, as we've just demonstrated, go to configure charge point, and then just select the new site, and then the charge point will move. So now we just have our example site with just the 2 chargers, and a breakdown that now only shows those 2, and our test site, which has our newly moved charger. As mentioned previously as well, you can still see all charge points at once by going to the dashboard, where the breakdown will still just show all of your charge points, no matter how many sites you have, as long as you're permitted to see all of them.